Here we go. Raid hardpoint. Yeah, we'll look this. Okay. Okay, so in this situation right here, like you come around the corner, and again, you zoom in a little after you get around the corner. I would have liked for you to be zooming in before you got to the corner, and I would have liked for you to actually check here, and then you can start, moving your aimer to the right after you start, like, here, like, for example, you should be looking here, and then you can look here, and then you can look here, and then the window right, and then, so you kind of have, like, your checkpoints from left to right. And that's really how it should look, because you know what I'm saying, like you want to utilize this angle, right? Because you're coming from over here on the right side. And the thing is, you just always want to be zooming in before, like the moment before you turn around this corner. Because again, for example, maybe someone's looking at you, maybe they're not. But it's one of those things that accounts for that possibility if it did happen.
All right.
So let's play. So in this situation, okay, so I don't know if you can back up anymore. It looks like maybe you can. The thing is, you're just in the middle of like the freaking window here. And you can be shot from multiple areas. Again, you could potentially be shot from here, from up here. You could be shot from over here once the smoke clears, or if they're running the sniper with the whatever that freaking sight is. You could be shot from here, right? Anywhere really along here. The thing is you're not minimizing the angle that you can be shot from, right? Based off being in the middle of the window area. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So the idea here is that, yeah, only one person is shooting at you, but again, trying to account for as many factors as possible is obviously going to be the best thing. So again, that's why usually when you're coming to the window, right, if you're to the right side of the window, then you're looking out the left side, right, meaning that your angle would be something like this. Right, and again, if you look at the mini map, right, or you go like this, or it's like this, for example, right, and then the idea is that you check here first, right, and then watch, right, here's your angle, and then you slowly move out here, then you check here, and then you check here, right. So if you're checking here, what that means is that no one over here is going to be able to see you. Why? Because you're only showing yourself to this angle, right? See what I'm saying?
Right.
Okay. Let's play. So there you go. You end up getting the kill. You reload. Okay, never mind. You end up seeing someone put some shots in. Okay, now again, I would recommend reloading from cover. And I mean, again, it's not as though where you reloaded from was a bad spot, because obviously you're still able to look over to columns. And again, this is, I guess, I would say the exception position, just because you're more, up high, so to speak, and far away from the battle. You're not in ring. But I would just say, when you do reload, remember that, with the exception of the more defensive positions, which you have, right? You're not obviously in the fight down there in the middle of the ring. But if you were, I would just say make sure to, again, notice how you're, again, I would just say, right, prone or stay in cover until you reload before you reshow yourself. Now, in this situation, again, you're kind of rocking the middle of the window. The thing is that you've already got a bunch of kills from here. And the thing is that, it's very easy to telegraph yourself, right? I mean, it's surprising, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's surprising no one has looked up here at the window yet just to wallbang you or even throw some pre-fires in there, right? And then notice how far you're sticking out the window. It's like you go all the way to the windowsill, right? And again, the example I usually give people when they're playing like a window position is that a sniper doesn't stick his sniper rifle outside of the fucking window, right, that he's shooting from. No, he fires from behind the window or from the back of the room in cover when he's shooting out the window, right? This is to protect himself so he doesn't be seen pointlessly for no reason. So again, kind of same concept I would say apply. You're just overextending yourself way too much, right? You could be shot almost from probably like freaking anywhere around this area. So again, limiting the angle you can be shot from. Hopefully there should have been a call out there from from you or someone. It looks like maybe so maybe he just paused and someone. Sorry, go ahead.
I said I called it out, but he jumped through the window.
Okay.
He kind of faked me out.
Yeah. Well, it looks like either he did that or a second guy came up. It could have been maybe either or. I'd have to go look at the minimap to see if he did just hit that U-turn. So now I'm going to play it from here. And again, remember that, and this is just a little hint to, like, if you want to pay attention to this while we're breaking it down, you'll notice that every single time you spawn, and every single time really almost any player spawns, you always initially sprint to action, which is always a good way to anticipate and predict, or a way that you can utilize to anticipate and predict where people are going to be coming from. And then again, always going to give you the advantage, usually because they'll be sprinting to the fight with their gun not out. So I like this, so to speak, how you... Let me fast forward this a little bit. Okay, so now I'm going to slow it down. So we're going to go half speed here. So again, notice how you're looking over here, right, while you're strafing to the left. The idea here is that you should have just checked here and then checked over here. Again, you're kind of moving in the same direction, and really, what if someone came around here or even around on the inside? It's just one of those things where you could have been shot. Like, say someone was sitting up here in media, right? Obviously, that's another example, too, as well. So, I mean, you kind of are just running out here, I would say, in open, I guess out in the open, to the point of where, again, you could just be shot from multiple different angles. Luckily, though, obviously, you get behind this guy and you get the kill. Hill contention is still occurring. You guys pick up a double. Okay, now you have control of it. So in this situation, right, the thing is when you... Now, this isn't your team, right?
Nah, this is nah, it's not a team. Okay. Not a team.
So in this situation, right, the thing is when you're playing solo league play, or if you're just playing custom 8s or whatnot, or even if you're just filling in for a team, whatever it may be, anytime you're not playing with a team in a 4v4 scenario, you always need to realize that you have to be the one to adapt to what your opponents are doing. Because most likely you guys either A, aren't all communicating, B, you're either... Well, usually A, you're either just not all communicating, or B, everyone is normally just running around with their own kind of like free-for-all mentality. So most people won't really be focusing on where to set up, where to organize, where do I position myself to watch a flank or a choke point that one of my teammates isn't watching. Usually those are kind of general consensus, or general factors that go into, of course, what you need to be paying attention to and realizing. So again, looking at the minimap a lot to look at where your teammate's position is, and then also look at where their arrow is pointing, right? Because you don't want to be looking in the same direction they're looking in, right? Minimizing your the amount of area you can cover. So here, this guy is looking at the wall, obviously because he's on the opposite side. So if anything, I would say if you're going to watch columns, that's fine, just to kind of like wait for a sec to react to see what your teammate's going to do. So let's see. He comes over to columns. Again, though, right, you only have a few seconds left. So in that situation, since you already looked columns, again, and most likely action will probably be coming from here, based off your teammate then moving, I would have recommended just turning over here to look at this area after you checked columns, because then someone would have been watching this and maybe your teammate may or not have died. But there you see Cal picking up the double. And again, that's just because you have to account for everything. Now, you could have looked columns first and kind of hung around there. Obviously, the better play would have been to look columns. Okay, no one's there. Now go ahead, right, and look over there from the opposite side of top mid, right, coming from the media room or the side door living room there, or even coming from the long ramp to ring as well. So, again, that probably would have been the better play, just because, again, that allows for you to account, right, for multiple target areas and choke points that they could be coming from. So now, again, let's look at the mini-map. No one's coming in. Weird. I don't know why no one's coming in from the back door here. For no help. You're really the only person in here by yourself, which is weird. Again, I like... so in this situation, that was good, right? Notice how you didn't just walk right in front of the freaking doorway. You backed up a little bit and then moved over to the middle, right? So you kind of did like this and this, right? So again, that's good. I like how you did that, because then as you move to the right, you started looking a little bit more to the left with your aimer, right? This allows for you to give yourself some cushion to where, again, you're not hugging the doorway, and it gives you more room to move to as well, if you need to strafe or when you see someone, right? And then bam, you see the triple you just picked up. And again, I liked how you moved around to the right side. As you were moving to the right again, you were still looking out to the left, and you angled yourself to where that guy passed you, but he couldn't see you, right, until you came back into vision of him. So that was actually a pretty good play, whether or not you did that consciously or subconsciously. So now you look out to the side, you get a kill. I would recommend switching the positioning up, because now, as you can see, it looks like he's freaking looking at you right now. And again, let's just confirm to see if he is. So he is, right? You can see his arrow.
Right.
Right there, where he's looking directly at you. So, again, just in that situation, right, the thing to realize is don't telegraph yourself, right? If you watch boxing, you probably hear that term used a lot, right? Don't telegraph your punches and what you're doing, because then your opponent's going to easily be able to reach you. Same thing here. The assumption has to be that after you shoot your gun, a red dot shows up on your opponent's minimap, right? So they know where you are. You just shot your weapon. Clearly they know, since that guy's looking at you turning the corner. Maybe you get this kill, maybe you don't. Point is, after you get a kill, or when there's a moment for you, try and always switch your position. It could be something as simple as just moving to the right a little bit, to where, look, like the angle you have now on the minimap is you're looking here, right? Now say you just move your positioning a little bit to maybe where you're looking here, right?
Right.
So now, so now the advantage you have is he has to come into your line of sight. Instead of, again, I guess he still kind of had to do the same thing. The thing is, though, is that now there's just more of an advantage, because now he doesn't see you the moment he turns the corner, right?
Right.
Because again, he could have came around the corner and just pre-fired for a sec just to maybe see if he hit you or maybe you were there. If he did, maybe you put some shots in, maybe you died. Obviously, it didn't happen here. The point is again to account for that and to always just switch your position up, even if it's just switching up an angle until you can actually switch your position up. That's fine. It's just again, the point is to take them off pace, right? You're trying to off pace them or offset them. So here we go. Let's play. Looks like I think you got the kill. Yeah, I think based off what I saw on the kill feed. So there we go, and then maybe you get this kill. Never mind, that doesn't happen. So again, but you got the kill. That was good. The only thing about what you did before, I'll say this here, in this situation, right, where you turn. So never mind. I don't think you did kill him then.
Nah, I didn't get that kill.
I see. So you got a kill, but then there was the okay, I see. Okay, yeah. So you turn away. Okay, yeah. So you didn't end up getting this kill then. I don't think. Okay. I see. So you shoot this guy here. In this situation, though, right? Okay. Well, that was weird. I don't know why you stopped firing. I guess maybe that was. Maybe.
I tend to do that, like you know how you put so many bullets in a kid and you think, okay, he's dead, but he don't die.
Oh, I see. Yeah.
Okay. So
I got you. In that situation, I would just say, don't stop pulling the trigger until he actually is dead.
I feel you.
Yeah. I mean, regardless if okay, 5, 6 bullets, right, at this range is going to consistently kill someone. Again, connection is one of those things that can potentially offset that number, right, depending on what's going on, whether it's yours or their connection. So the idea here is that, and then sometimes, maybe you think you were at a certain distance, right, to where you only had to put a certain amount of bullets into them, but maybe that didn't happen. So again, obviously, just general rule of thumb, I would just say, right, logically, always make sure just to keep firing until they are dead or they're on the ground or they're bleeding. Okay, so in this situation, though, right, your teammate goes in. I don't know why you don't. I don't know how you missed this guy.
I don't know.
Yeah, that happened. I mean, that happened. I don't know. Maybe it was the glass or something that offset it. Anyways, though, I would have just waited. Like your teammate goes in blindly, right? Notice how you have no support. 20 seconds left on the hill, granted, but you have 2 guys over here. And you 2 are the only one going in. Notice how he Han Solos in and goes in by himself. I would have just recommended, based off this, even though you guys are down, the better play here would be to do some slaying. And then if you kill 1 or 2 people, then go, if you kill the people that are in the hill, right, then go ahead and take the hill over. But I wouldn't have walked right in the doorway. I would have played it out by going over here. Or, again, you could have been floating around here or even around here and just watching the doorway area, right? I would have played it out that way a little bit differently. Or you could have still been as close as you were. Again, it's unfortunate you missed this freaking guy that's right there. But, again, the idea here is that, again, your teammate goes in there pointlessly. He walks in, overextends himself, gets shot in, well, maybe the right ass cheek, depending on who kills him. But, again, right, then you follow suit and go right in there. Obviously, you missed the guy. He shoots you in the back. And it looks like there might have been 2 or 3 people. Oh, wow. There's actually 4 people in there. So, yeah. It looked like at least I saw 3 different people in there. So, in this situation now, since the hardpoint's going to be switching, you need to be filling in. And, again, you can... Well, I guess you could go to the hardpoint here. Or... Well, I guess we'll have to wait and see then what's going to happen here in a moment. So, yeah. In this situation, again, you should be trying to watch your flank. So, based off where your opponents are, again, I guess, again, that was good that you did make the move over there to weights or fitness. I would probably still be switching between watching mid. Well, I guess what you're doing is okay until you have some teammates come over. So now after you see your teammates kind of working your way over, I'd recommend just kind of watching fitness and weights a little bit more, which again is obviously what you're doing. That's good. You end up getting the triple there. Again, I don't know why anyone from your team wasn't watching the middle route there. It looks like they either flanked you from mid route, from twisty, coming from mid, or from poolside, from what it looked like. So, again, it was okay what you were doing. I would have just recommended switching your position up a little bit after you did that, or whether you went, like, for example, right, you could have went to, like, the back or in between these cars, and then you could have been looking there, right? Not just staying here the whole time.
Right.
Again, that's obviously probably why that person ended up killing you. Though you did, I guess the difference is that then after you got the third or the second or third kill, you did run to the back of the van that way. Where, again, you would have been a little more exposed because obviously you're closer to the front door. I probably would have recommended going around the back or even towards the front here. That would have been one way to play that out while, of course, you're looking at the middle instead of kind of, going forward and running right into someone that could be running through the doorway. Okay, so now you're kind of like, okay, so you're strafing a little bit side to side out there while you're putting some shots in. You get in the hill, which is good. I'm glad that you decided to contest the hill instead of just letting them get free time on it, so obviously that's good. In this situation, though, again, you can challenge, or B, you can crouch and just wait a few seconds for your teammate here to maybe get a kill or come around the corner, or even, you know, wait a few seconds to see if your team is even going to be able to push up with you, but we'll see. Okay, so never mind. You do decide just to kind of wait a few seconds. The smoke is thrown down. In that situation, I wouldn't have pushed up. I would have still waited around the back of the Ferraris, or even gone over here to the corner, just because now, even though you're proning, you're out in front of the Ferraris and the freaking fucking doorways right over here next to you, right? So again, you could just potentially get shot from a few different areas, possibly. Fitness didn't get cleared out. That guy jumps off. Maybe he jumped off, maybe he didn't. At least the Ferraris are blown up now, so nades hopefully won't do any damage. Guys across the way. So this is scary for what happens right here, right? Notice how you were on the right side or you were on the right doorway, the passenger side doorway of that red Ferrari right there, and it looked like, again, well, now obviously you're all the way to the back, but notice what happens right here. So notice how when you extend over here to the right and you look at this guy, notice how you back up to where you're now on the right door of the Ferrari, right? So now you're kind of like your whole body is extended. The better play here would have just been to crouch up from the back of the Ferrari. That way you're kind of almost head glitching it, if not at least only showing shoulders up, right? So it's a smaller area to hit, right? Smaller target because they can't see as much of your body, where you can see all of their body, right? You see what I'm saying?
Right, I got you.
Okay, so let's play. Again, though, you do get the kill. So now in this situation, you need to actually start filling in. Like, you have a guy over here pull, you got guys over here, you need to be watching Twisty. Why? Because no one's watching that choke point, and you guys could potentially get flanked from there. That's where you need to be going right now. It doesn't happen, but again, hard point switching. So again, as we always look at the timings, or at least looking at them now. So in this situation, ooh, let me see this, hang on. All right, I'm gonna play this out here. Okay, okay, here we go, at full speed. So I'm going to half speed this right now. So in this situation, okay, so I like this. You sprint and you zoom. I would have liked you to zoom a little bit earlier. I actually would have liked for you to, like, zoom when you got... I'll show you.
Right around the corner, like at an angle at the corner.
Like right here. I would have liked for you to be zooming in, like, literally after you went forward a little bit and you got right around this wall. That would have been the time to zoom in for you. Just because then you could have accounted for the right side of the tiki bar, right? Or the hut there.
Right.
So let's play. Ooh, man, only if I could rewind. Like, literally half a second earlier, I would have liked for you to already be zooming in. That way you could have checked this. Then you could have checked the right side, the left side of tiki, and then the left side of the hut too as well, right? So those should be your 4 points from right to left that you scan, depending on what, regardless of what side you're coming in on. So you see the guy there. Looks like you were aiming at a probably shoulder head height. Don't know why the extra shots went in there after he already backed up. So now, I guess maybe he died, maybe he didn't, not too sure. Okay, so in this situation, so now here, this is actually a great place to... Crap, let me go a little fast forward this shit. Okay, so he didn't die.
Yeah, he died. I got the seats.
Oh, okay. Oh, I see. Okay, maybe that was from Drew's kill. Okay, so in this situation, right, I do not recommend going in from, like, the back mid-tiki, because you really just end up right in front of the damn court doorway, right? So, again, going from left or right would probably have been the better play, if not even going in right side. That way your flank is blocked from here and here, right? If you're on the right side of the tiki, like here. Again, they can't shoot you from those areas. Okay, so now, in this situation, though, I would have recommended doing this. Go a little bit over to the right, establish... Again, let's look at the mini-map. Establish the angle, and then slowly start scanning it like this, right? While you're moving your body like this, right? So your aimer's going to the right while your body's slowly moving around the corner, but you're only showing enough to where your aimer will reveal the rest for you, right, as you're turning to the right. So that definitely would have been the better play there, I'd say. And you did a good job over here. I just would have recommended, like, constantly zooming in this situation. Really no reason to out-zoom or to unzoom yourself. So you spin around this corner. I don't know why that would have happened. Again, if you would have recognized that your teammate was there for you, right here, I'm going to play this one more time. Right, so you get this kill, right? But now notice what your teammate's doing. Bam! Look at this. It's becoming so beautiful to where you're looking here and he's watching your cross.
Crossfire, yeah.
Bam! Exactly, crossfire. I think that's like a fighting game or something. But anyways, it looks sexy right now is the point. Because there's a little bit of organization going on. And if you notice, you died to this guy, but what happened? Your teammate cleaned him up. Why did he clean him up? Because your teammate was already in a position to kill him, which it seems like maybe he most likely still would have killed him regardless. Again, that still could have went 50-50. But the opportunity for him to get the kill, and then for you to clean up the guy that he dies by, why? Because this guy's coming in from this side, right? He wasn't watching that angle. That was potentially supposed to be where you were watching. You guys could have easily cleaned up these two guys and taken over court. So, okay. Real quick, any questions that you have so far? About anything. It could be questions about anything I've talked about. I mean, maybe you disagree with something, you'd like more of an explanation, or a scenario question, anything that I've gone over so far.
Nothing that I can think of right now. I mean,
okay.
I mean, everything that you're saying is totally right. I understand, what you mean exactly. Yeah, but pretty much no questions. I mean, not right now.
Okay. All right. Okay, here we go. Ooh. Okay, so wait, let me back this up. Okay. So again, okay, so in this situation, I would, since your guy Drew was able to get up that far, right? Understandably so. Obviously, it probably wasn't a big need for you to zoom in as you were turning the pool corner. But as you get up here, where now you're like literally on your opponent's side of the map, you need to be checking here and then the doorway because you don't have any control, right? You have no way of knowing who's over here. So again, that would have probably been the better play right there. At least to do a zoom in check to see. It's really funny, actually. I just want to replay this because your friend looks so hilarious. Like, we just watched him the whole time. It's like, he just totally gets raped there on the side. And fell and died, which is really hilarious. So, again, though, right, but a little bit of an overextension. Like, the thing is, I don't know, it was, like, really weird. I'm just going to hang on. I want to replay this real quick. So, again, right, obviously you pull the knife out. Your teammate gets shot. And
that was why.
yeah, and you're looking over here. In this situation, right, when that happens, you should be strafing and moving to cover while you're firing. In this situation, you should be going left because then that will utilize the wall here to block your flank off and at least allow you a little bit of repositioning to kind of reset yourself. Which you do, in a sense. Again, you had to like kind of turn away and sprint, which is weird why your opponents weren't able to easily clean you up, but who knows? Maybe like some super noobs. Anyways, though, okay, hang on. So you come out and you turn. Okay, so in this situation, you extended way too far, right? You were good like right here. This was okay for you, even if you were a little closer here, trying to head glitch that corner. That would have been the better play. Now you're just exposing your dick, your titties, and everything. It's interesting. I'm wondering if you're just really wanting to go in that hot tub. That's what it seems like. Okay.
Yeah, I did. Take a swim.
Yeah, I'm telling you, man, them fishies. Okay, so and then in this situation. We'll have to replay it here for a second. I literally wish you could rewind by seconds instead of having to go back like a full 10-second clip. Okay, so right here, again, this is a good position too as well. If you're going to come down here, again, check here, and then you check here, right? Then you can check over here, right, from right to left. Because again, you're only revealing yourself for the area you can see. Nothing more. But again, so now we play. Notice how you didn't look over there, right? Notice how you extended your body here, and he shot you while you were looking here. Again, that's because your aimer should have been over here where he shot you from. Remember, you don't want to overextend your body more than you need to, especially when your body is overextending and you're not looking in the area where your body or your character could be shot from, which it really is just a case of what happened here.
See, but if you notice, it's a guy right there in Tiki. I knew he went in there. That's why I was watching it.
Yeah.
But like you say, I overextended myself too far.
Yeah.
So
yeah, it was just a little bit too much. And again, if you just would have backed up a little bit, right, you still could have been watching Tiki, and you probably could have got that kill. And that guy probably maybe not. But maybe he could have known you were there. Maybe not. Again, a few seconds walked by. So, but again, most likely they probably still would have at least been looking there. Because again, that was the last.
Right.
I mean, usually the thing is that if you shoot your gun, right, most people will just go to the last place they saw you. So. Okay, so you get this kill. Oh, okay. I'm going to rewind this now. Okay. So you're watching this. Okay, cool. You pick this guy off. Fresh hard point now over there. Okay, so now you should be zooming in like literally right now. This is really when you should be zooming in. And if it happened half a second earlier, maybe you could have killed him half second earlier. So notice, you're reloading, but where are you reloading? You're reloading
in fire, I feel you.
Yeah, right. So reloading out in the open. Again, in these situations where you're not in that kind of like a defensive position like you were over there at that mid-try or in that nest looking out towards the ring, where you have a lot of defensive cover and you're just kind of running through the kitchen, again, in these situations, you do just kind of want to wait a sec, hide in cover until you finish the reload, and then go ahead and back it up. Okay. So now you're coming in. Okay, so again, remember, you don't have any control minutes. So this is good. Bam! That was beautiful. This is motherfucking textbook pro. This is exactly what... This is like professional level textbook how the fuck you turn a corner correctly. Just so we can watch your beautiful fucking Beethoven masterpiece in like quarter slow motion, because this shit was phenomenal, right? Bam. Again, you could have maybe zoomed in earlier if you did want to check kitchen, right? But as you're looking out to me, look at this. By the time you get full zoom, you're literally just showing yourself. Now, in this situation, the better play, again, if I wasn't going to critique this at all, again, this is near perfect. The only thing that you could have done better was looking here, right? And then start moving your aimer to the left while you're strafing your character to the right, right? Because like, let's say someone was here, you wouldn't be looking at him, right? Okay,
Right.
So let's play. But again, you do it, and you come all the way out, and look at this fucking fairy hopper right in front of you. That just tastes the fucking rainbow all day. You get a kill and destroy and destroy a trophy. Okay, so now you come back around. We'll full play now. Again, that was a good play. Again, there's just a little tiny thing that could have also been improved there too as well. Okay, so in this situation, there's smoke everywhere. The better play here is just aim at the area. Again, right? Again, remember, you can shoot through smoke. You don't have to sprint all the way through smoke, especially if the guy just like got done shooting. Like literally, at this moment, he just showed himself, right? If it's bright red, that means literally that's where he is. I literally would have fucking taken some shots, just some pre-fire shots over here real quick, just because he just showed himself there. That would have been one way to play that out. Additionally, what I probably would have recommended you to do is sprint over here to the right corner. Probably would have been the better play in that situation. If not, another play could have been for you to go back out the side door and flank, right, from cut. That could have also been another play too as well. But let's play. Again, so in this situation, right, but this is the thing. If you're going to sprint through the smoke, you need to be looking down the area from the side of smoke you're coming out. So the better play right here would have been, if you're going to run over here, you need to be looking here, and then you can look here, then you can look at this corner, then comms, right? So if you're going to go left, then what do? You look from left to right. If you're going right, then you look from right to left, right?
Okay.
You see what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Let's play. All right. 30 seconds left on the hill. Okay, so, let me go back twice. Here. All right. Let's see. Okay. So you turn this corner. Again, okay, so I guess that was okay. I would have liked to maybe seen a zoom in again a half second earlier. Just maybe if you were looking here, right? That maybe would have been the only other big positioning that I could have seen someone. I mean, again, sure, you might catch the random floaters, right, around here, or even around the right side of the ring trying to flank. But more likely, you might see someone up in media watching the area, right, coming from over here on ring. So again, I would have liked to maybe seen a zoom in check there. Real quick. Again, okay, so you end up dying here to this guy. Again, so in this situation, right, I would have recommended, based off where you saw him. Oh wait, hang on. Let's fast play this. And again, this is just something you could assume and predict based off where you saw him. Okay, so notice, where do you see him? He popped out the last column, right? Notice what you do, right? Again, I'm gonna slow play this, right? Notice, bam. Notice how you did the good job of looking here, but you should have been slowly moving your aimer to the right. Right, again,
Nope.
you see what I'm saying? Like, you last saw him here. It was good for you to look here initially, but you probably had about a half-second window there. From when you looked here, then you should have been strafing it to the right. And that's what should have been happening. Then you would have been set up in a better situation to where maybe you would just, again, you just would have been closer to where you wouldn't have had to move your aimer as much.
Okay.
Again, normally if he's on the backside, he's probably going to show back up on the same side. Trust me, man. COD players aren't too bright, right? They're not. The thing about COD players, well, not just COD players, think about shooter players in general. The majority of them, if not all of them, they shoot first and think second, right? They don't view shooter games as strategy games where you think first and then react second, right? So again, if anything, that's, him dying is just testament to where he's not really creative, right? He pops back out the same area. But then again, in the more advanced scenario, that could also just be like a psychological tactic where maybe, he thought that you would have been looking over there on the opposite side, thinking that maybe you thought he was going to switch his position up. Again, I don't want to fucking get in, literally, I don't want to start having a debate with myself in my brain about myself in my brain, in this psychological battle with myself. Yeah, it would be way too much. Okay. To be honest, if anything, that's probably it so far. It's been about 30 minutes. The biggest things I've taken away that from at least the areas you can improve on individually, again, I'd recommend looking at your minimap more, just because then you'll be better able to position yourself where you are able to watch choke points, and additionally you won't be looking in the same direction as another teammate is. Again, it didn't seem like you did that too much here. I really wasn't focusing or paying attention too much specifically on the points that I did bring up as far as the moments or scenarios we did see and talk about. But if anything, I would just say be wary and cautious of that. Always keep that in the back of the head. Don't look in the same direction as the teammate is. Again, limiting the amount of area you can cover. Watch your minimap more. As I said, this will better help you figure out positioning. It'll better help you and show you what choke points you need to be looking at or what areas you need to be looking at based off where your teammates are looking. Number 2, I would say positioning is a big thing, right? The initial examples I provided to you in the beginning of the session, right, where you were sticking out of the mid-try window, right, over here to the right, and you were kind of in the middle of the window. Then there were times where you went all the way to the front of the window because you wanted to see how far your belly was going to overextend over it. It was really weird shit. Point there is, again, don't overextend yourself so much, and don't put yourself in a position to where you can be shot from like a shit ton of different angles, right? Limit the amount of angles you can be shot from by having good positioning. So that's number 2. I guess number 3 is just angling. Number 4, I would say, again, just be more aware of choke points and where you need to fill in, again, based off adapting to your teammate. And that goes from not only looking at your minimap, but to also being aware of what's going on in front of your screen, because you need to be looking at where your teammates are not so you can fill into the appropriate area. Number 6, what sensitivity do you play on?
I've been playing on 5. I tried switching to 4. It's kind of a little bit too slow. I was losing the gunfight, so I put it back on 5. But that's as far as I take it.
Okay. If anything, I would probably recommend going to 4. And the reason why is because, so every character has a base movement speed, right? And the only way that base movement speed changes or fluctuates is if you're running extreme conditioning, lightweight, if you have a submachine gun versus an assault rifle, right? Those are things that can change. How fast your base movement speed is, and then also how fast you sprint. So the idea here, though, is that without any of those attached, everyone has a base movement speed, meaning how fast you move when you're just walking and then how fast you move when you're sprinting. Now, every sensitivity has a base movement speed attached to it. Like, if you saw someone sprinting across your screen and you were running, a 1 sensitivity, that might be moving a little too slow, right? You might not be able to keep up with the person that's sprinting, if not barely keep up with them, which means that every sensitivity has a base movement speed that matches up to the character movement speed. So the idea is the lower sensitivity you go, the closer you're matching up to the movement speed of a player, right? When they're just running or when they're sprinting. So the idea here is that since the sensitivity movement speed is getting closer to the character base movement speed, it's going to allow for you to aim more consistently and for longer periods of time on your opponent because you're matching up with their jumping speed, right, or their strafing speed, or their sprinting speed. So the idea here is that if you're always looking, the idea here is that if you're always set up or you're always positioning yourself to where someone has to come into your line of sight, you will always have the advantage because you'll be able to keep your aimer. You're creating the advantage because you're running a lower sensitivity to allow yourself the opportunity to maintain your gun and your ridicule on your opponent longer than your opponent on you. You see what I'm saying?
All right.
Does that make sense with the whole sensitivity movement speed thing? And
makes sense.
Okay. Other thing I would say, when you're aiming, and you may not notice this, most players have a tendency to twitch or to tap their analog stick, where they kind of flick it, so to speak. And so the reason for that is because most people will like lift their thumb off of their analog stick, or they will release a little bit of pressure off of their thumb, off the analog stick, or away from the analog stick. Like, for example, you can still keep your thumb on the analog stick, but maybe you just you're not pushing down as hard, right? So you kind of loosen your grip or the pressure you're putting down on it. Some other people will actually lift their thumb up a little bit off the analog stick, and then whenever they come back down, whether you're just releasing a little bit of pressure or lightening the pressure, or if you actually lift your thumb a little bit off of the analog stick, depending on how much. But when you come back down and you repressure it, the thing is that's what actually causes you to kind of twitch or twerk. Maybe I shouldn't say twerk. Damn, now we're kind of getting into a trending topic. But it causes you to kind of twitch the analog stick or just tap it, kind of tweak it a little bit. So the idea here is that have you ever wrote in cursive before?
Right, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay, cool. So you know that when you write in print, right, you normally have to lift your pen or your pencil off of the paper for each letter you write. But in cursive, They teach you that you can leave your pen and your pencil on the paper and you fluidly write each letter in the word, right? Only having to take your pen off or pencil off for the words. So the idea here is that if you're able to maintain your thumb on your analog stick without having to like repressurize or to reposition it, and you can make it to where you're fluidly moving your aimer or your reticule, it will give you, it'll set you up and give you an advantage for more consistent aiming. Because now you're fluidly moving your reticule instead of jerking it left and right or tapping it left and right. A good way to practice this is to go find a circular or curvy object and go in private match and do this for like 5 or 10 minutes every day before you, as like a warm-up, and just draw an outline, right? Like outline it with your reticule. And whether you're going in a circle or you're drawing like a square but with curvy corners or something like that, right? Something to where it isn't, you know, a straight like actual corner, right? It has to be a curvy corner, I guess, on a flat corner. And the idea here is that if you start outlining curvy objects and you just keep going, like if you had to draw a circle, think about having to aim, right, where you have to kind of move your analog stick, right, with your thumb consistently on it, right, left, down, bottom right, top right, and you had to do it, and then you create, and again, it's just a way to practice fluid aiming. And it's, again, this is something I used to do with like Halo Reach players, and even did with some Halo 3 players back in the day too as well. It's just something that's been proven to work, but you have to obviously apply it every day if you really want to, you know, again, try and put an effort towards the improvement. Aside from that, I would say number seven, check corners, right? There was that one beautiful example you had there of coming out of the bank into kitchen and you were looking up to mid. And I would just say try and embody that a little bit more. Always try and check corners and then check target areas, right? Don't reveal more of your body or your character's body than you have to, right? Always make sure that you only reveal the body when you're looking to a new area. And then general rule of thumb is if your aimer is moving to the right, your body's got to move to the left. Same vice versa. If you're aiming to the left, move your body to the right. But again, only reveal yourself enough. The thing is, you should only reveal yourself when you see a new area on your screen, on your reticule. So outside of that, again, those are probably the biggest areas I would say that it looks like improvement can be made on for you individually. Again, if you're able to make those improvements and consistently apply them, and again, I do record all my sessions so you can go back and watch this as many times as you want to. If you are able to make those improvements, I guarantee you'll be playing 100 times better, easily.
So where would you say I'm at right now?
Right now, if I had to rate you, the thing is I've never rated anyone that I've done an individual session with so far, I think over a 2 out of 10 or maybe a 1.5. I would say where you're currently at right now, based off of the things that you take into effect and based off of your individual awareness, I would probably rate you at like a 1 out of 10 so far. But again, I wouldn't take that too much to heart because that's pretty much what I rate everyone. I don't know if I've rated anyone over that or even over a 1.5 out of 10 so far. And again, that's just based off of all the areas that you account for, right? Because it's not just shooting. I could give a fuck less if you won every single, like even if you won every single battle and you didn't die, I would most likely have still told you the same exact shit that I just told you.
Okay.
And again, that's just because that shows where the improvements can be made by giving you a better advantage, right, for each of the fights that you set yourself up for. And sure, maybe there would have been some better fights or better examples of fights where maybe you did less or, you know, there was less that you did in the fight where that could have actually been critiqued to the point of where, you know, you just did better things. But the idea here is that regardless of your score, you also have to factor that every time you die, it also factors into your team, right? It's not just an individual thing. Your individual performance directly correlates to what your team does. And if you die, that either opens up a flank or a teammate has to fill in for there. So you kind of also have to think about it, right, big picture as well down the road.
Okay.
So outside of that, though, again, that's probably it for me. One of the things I do like to ask every individual or team at the end of each session is for feedback. And again, this is optional, so you don't have to give any if you don't want to. But if you would like to give some, again, I would love to hear what you thought about the session. Did you find it beneficial? Do you want to go kill yourself now and jump off a bridge? Maybe slit some wrists? I don't know. Some people got their own fetishes and shit like that. But again, if you would like to give some, I would love to hear what you thought.
Yeah, it was cool. I mean, I appreciate it. I mean, I would like to look forward to, you know, more working out with you, you know, but you know, all the suggestions and, you know, things that you said were right on point to where I feel that can make me better. But yeah, everything was cool.